Hey, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to just give my thoughts on the first season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which ended a week ago. So last episode of the season aired a week ago, so good time to start talking about it. Uh, I liked it. I really enjoyed this season, this show. It's a great throwback Trek. Uh, I've mentioned before when talking about other Trek shows that I really like that each show is trying to fill its own niche. Discovery as the modern take on Star Trek. Uh, Lower Decks as the comedic take. Uh, Prodigy as the all ages Trek, all ages take on Trek. Picard is the very nostalgia driven version of Trek, which is why it's honestly the least interesting of the modern day Treks. Yeah, and then Strange New Worlds as the throwback, as the classic Trek, with a bunch of with it being primarily one and done adventure stories, the classic Trek formula, uh, and it does that formula really well. It's just a really well made show. The cast is great. Uh, Anson Mount is just phenomenal as Pike, Captain Pike. Just absolutely nails the role. Gives brings so much charm and charisma to the role. Uh, Rebecca Romaine is Rebecca Romaine is really good as Una number one. She brings a weirdly fun seriousness, like the episode where Una and Lon are trying to have fun is hilarious. I like that she is so serious. Uh, it lets her. It's a really good contrast to Pike. I mean, that's like always sort of been. That was sort of always where Trek sort of was at its best, was characters contrasting with each other. So I grew up on Next Generation, so you had Picard as the very serious captain, and then you had Riker as the more relaxed and jokey first officer. This one sort of turns that around, so you've got Pike as the really cheerful, friendly, fun captain with a sense of humor, and then you've got Una as the serious, kind of dry first officer to contrast. And obviously Spock as well, contrasting with Pike is again serious and unemotional to Pike's more emotional take. So all good. The rest of the cast was also great. What was the name? Celia Rose Gooding was a very interesting take on Uhura. Being young, fresh out of the academy, still a cadet, uh, being young, unsure of her place in the universe. I hadn't really found her confidence yet, but we do see her start to find confidence as the season goes on, um, and see that she is, you know, a really good officer. Um, Interesting take on Chapel as well. Jess Bush. Very interesting take on Chapel, another classic Trek character, which had to be like must be a really hard role to take. You know, to take a role that was created by arguably the second most important woman in Star Trek. Um, that role, of course, being the second most important woman of Star Trek, Majel Barrett. Most important is Lucille Ball. Star Trek would not actually exist without Lucille Ball. So she's the most. Lucille Ball is the most important woman to Star Trek history. But I would argue that Majel Barrett is second most important because she was there, from the start, and played a huge role in all of Trek up until her death. So stepping into a role created for Majel Barrett, that's gotta be hard. Um, it's gotta be a lot of pressure. And Bush brought a different energy to the role. Because, again, she's a younger version of the character. She's playful and enthusiastic and eager. Uh, then, obviously, she would have grown up and matured by the time of the original series. But here, yeah, she's still young and eager, and I love the playfulness that she brings to the role. It's fun. Also, I like that there's just that she's confirmed as bi in like the most tiny little throwaway line. It's not a big deal. She just is, and it's kind of cool. Uh, Laan Noonien Singh was good. Christina Chung in that role, really good as Laan. Um, I like the anger, the tension that she's got in the role. Um, Melissa Navia as Ortegas, Ortegas. Sorry. I honestly wish there were more of her because she's so good. She is, again, she's just ridiculously fun. Just oozes charm and clearly having a great time, both the actress and the character throughout the show. She's just having an absolute blast. Plays really well off everyone else just because she's got that sense of humor going. Um, Babs Alusanmukin. I probably mispronounced that. But yeah, Dr. Mbenga, so good. He brought so much heart to that role. Uh, and then Bruce Horak as Hemmer. I wish we'd gotten way more of him as well. He was good. He was underutilized. I wish that we'd gotten so much more of him. Um, yeah, Mbenga was definitely a strong through line throughout the season with his, you know, seeking a way to cure his daughter. And speaking of which, absolute highlight of the series of the season, Elysian Kingdom. Gotta, you know, gotta be held up as a highlight of the season because it's one of those episodes that lets the cast play with their characters in a way they don't normally get to do, the to play their characters in a different manner. And you can always tell that the cast has fun doing that. In any show, really. Like in any show where the actors get to play their characters different from usual, you can always tell that they really enjoy it, and they definitely they brought a real fun energy to that episode. So all of them just changing their takes on their characters. So Anson Mount uh, playing Pike as cowardly, and Chong playing Lan as just an absolute weirdo. Uh, it's great. It's just always a blast to see those episodes. Always enjoyable. And then, of course, reaches the end of the episode and decides to just rip your heart out and make you cry. That's always fun. Uh, Another highlight, I think, highlight episode is Spock and T'Pring uh, swapping their minds, leading to hijinks. Who doesn't love hijinks? And I like that they keep referring to it as hijinks as well. And again, seeing them sort of play themselves a little bit differently. Speaking of which, I like I like how it handles the relationship between Spock and T'Pring. It sort of paints T'Pring is sort of presented as being, I would say, unusually emotional for a Vulcan, which, you know, plays into her later dumping Spock in the original series for a different guy. Sort of plays into that in a really good way. Um, and that episode also did a really good job setting up the Spock Chapel romantic tension that the original series had. Um, yeah, a lot of other really good episodes. Every episode was solid. Every episode was good. No bad episodes here. And I like the season finale with the flash forward to alternate timeline. Um, that was another pretty cool episode. Interesting premise. Um, Honestly, my biggest complaint with the first season of Strange New Worlds is that it's too short. Only 10 episodes. I wanted way more, frankly. Like and that's sort of what you want out of a TV show is especially a show like this where it's the episodes are largely self-contained. Making it so you want more of it is definitely a strength. Because yeah, I would have killed to have more of it. Obviously, season two is in development. Um, only another 10 episode season though, which is very disappointing. Like it's give us more. And so yeah, it's a really solid Star Trek series. It's a really good classic Trek. Getting really into the heart of what Trek is, which is, space exploration as a vehicle for exploration of the human condition. It does that really well. And that's always that was always what Trek was about. It was about exploring the human condition. Space travel just being, you know, just being a way of going about that. Just being the setting rather than the uh, the main thrust. So it does a really good job with all the characters and the relationships that they have and the struggles that they're going through. Lon sort of continuing to deal with what is clearly PTSD. Um, and just, yeah, all of it. All of it. Really good. Loved this first season. And very excited for more of it. And also excited for the next season of Lower Decks, which comes out pretty soon, I think. Third quarter of this year, so a couple more months. Also going to be only 10 seasons, which is, I want more. I always want more. But hey, and fourth season is currently in development, I think. So that's pretty cool as well for Lower Decks. Solid one, because that's been a solid series. And yeah, so I think that is about all I can think to say about Lower Decks. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it, wished for more, and very excited for the next season. Wishing it would be longer, but yeah, great show, and I really like what I really do like what Paramount is doing with the Star Trek franchise these days. Uh, I know a lot of people hate modern Trek, they hate Discovery, they hate Lower Decks, they hate Picard, they just hate what's happening with Star Trek as a whole right now. I know that there are some people who hate it, but I really like what they're doing with the franchise. I think that they are doing really good work with almost all of the shows. As I said, the one exception, Star Trek Picard, um, the one that is most heavily nostalgia driven. So, yeah, if you do like Star Trek, then Strange New Worlds is very much worth the watch. So that's all I've got for this episode. I will see you for something else tomorrow. I got new episode of Mass Effect 2 tomorrow. So join me for that, please. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you another time.